Greetings.
I just made a split decision that I am going to actually break down a bit of the lighting. This is the shot that's going to introduce our viewers to the subject and bring them into his world. So behind this wall here, there's a whole room. And so this room has enough space for us to put lights and stuff like that. This window here is actually like leading into the other room, which is pretty cool. So we were able to put our lights into that back room. We put our GVM 650B shining in. We had it around 3700 Kelvin, and that was shining through, creating some nice streaks on our walls here. And we broke that up with the plants that are here. So you'll see some plants there. So that was able to give us, you know, a nice sunny morning kind of feel, which is really good because Legend, you know, does a lot of his work in the morning, wakes up really early. So that painted some light onto our walls, which was great. It also created a bit of a key on our subject there, as well as helped separate him from the background. We realized that we obviously needed some more light, so we then brought in our Godox 200, our Godox SL 200. So this is our GVM 650B. This is our Godox SL 200. We had this one on daylight, but we used a gel. So we used a half CTO gel that was warm tungsten, so that we could have it mimic what was going on from our 650 because it's a daylight fixture. And that created some nice streaks here on the floor, as well as illuminated this side table here and created some fill return back into our subject and here. Now, you know, on second thought, looking back at it, of course, we could have raised the levels on our subject's shadow side, but, you know, we didn't mind having a contrastier look. I like it personally, and so that was a preference. The space also needed a bit more light, some luminance, so we just threw some Godox TL60 tube lights here in the corners, one there and one there. We set them both to 5600 Kelvin to add some color contrast, and that is what gave us that sort of bloomy look off to the corners here. It didn't so much work in this right corner, but, you know, because it was so dark and, you know, it's not reflecting off of a lot of the white wall, but it still looked really cool at the end of things. So that's the breakdown on this opening scene. So this shot of the shoe, we had a very similar setup, and you're able to see a lot of what that 650B is doing. 650B, you know, to 3700 Kelvin. A lot of what you're seeing here, this area painted here, all of these streaks of light here, this outline on the table, all of that area there is the work of the SL200. So that's our SL 200 by Godox with the gel on it. That is what's giving us that nice natural sunlight feel, because a lot of our 650B is shining over onto our wall over here. Everything else, and as well as the shoe being outlined and creating that nice sort of look and feel to our shoe, getting all of that light spilled and shaped, is from our SL200. That was a great way to showcase the shoe and not just Legend in the background here. You're still seeing that 650B playing up on, you know, his face there. It has a nice soft feel there, and it's really doing a great job of just kind of adding that nice soft wrap to his face. You'll even notice that the 650B is even shining on his crochet hook there, just adding a nice reflection. So that 650B is doing a lot of the work coming across the room here, right? And then creating that key light on Legend, as well as, you know, the fill from the 200 is also illuminating our shoe and bringing up the levels in the room and on Legend's shadow side as well.
Talking money don't.
So this shot with Legend putting the shoe into the box, we had to get really creative. I know that I wanted to, again, put a lot of unique angles into this spot because I wanted you to feel immersed into the world that we built. And so I said, we need a shot where it's the POV of the box, right? Or the POV of a shoe that's already in there. So our art director, Hugo, created this sort of jerry-rigged box that had a hole at the bottom that he basically put on the front of the camera, and so the lens of the camera was inside of the box shooting outwards, and to have it more defined feeling and to show that it is a box, because you know we needed a wide enough lens to see the space and see Legend, but we couldn't see the box. He added some tissue paper around the box that helped sort of sell that it is a shoe box. All right, so we had the 650B playing in the background, 650B, and then we had a tube light as well shining on Legend, giving that sort of wrap to his face and giving that soft lighting on his key side. And he's basically being edged ever so slightly by the 650B. That's also kind of creating those streaks on the wall and the nice outline of all of our plants and things like that. We wanted to showcase this space back here and showcase the tissue itself so that you know that there's something going on and you're looking into a shoebox. So we actually just put a phone light in the shoebox, and it helped really illuminate, you know, the space, the box here, but it also helped create enough light so that you can see the Jaclar name on the tissue paper of the shoebox. So that was pretty cool that we, you know, it was a last minute thought to add that phone light, and it really helped because it illuminated the tissue box and added some additional branding. Honestly, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I hope you guys like it. If you've reached this far, then do what you need to do. You know what you need to do.
In effect, and my money long.
This last shot, we had a nice sunlight shining and illuminating, creating that edge around Legend, creating a nice edge around his hat, creating some definition on his face there, you know, and creating obviously all of the outlines of his pants and his shoes. And all we did is add a nice 5-in-1 diffuser here that bounced some return light from that sun back onto Legend, lifted up the levels on his face here, and created a nice pleasing look. And the composition was everything for this shot. The composition helped bring out the story. The sky looked really nice with all the streaks in the clouds. This was a beautiful shot just because of location and composition. So what can I take away from this spot? Honestly, I would say anytime you feel stuck or you feel like you want to do more in terms of your cinematography career, take the time to put together a spec ad. Work with somebody, work with people, work with your friends to bring an idea to life. These are the ways that you can get creative. You may not be restricted by time, and you may be able to create some of your best work. Now, this is a project I'm really proud of. It took a lot of planning and a lot of help. But because we all came together with the same vision, we're able to pull it off and create something that's going to be amazing for the launch of Legend Knits and Jaclar. If you want to see more breakdowns or some of the work that we do, hit subscribe, hit like on this video, do what you need to do so that you can stay in tune. But I think that's all I got for you guys. My name's Nathan, and I'm out.